Overdrive this week, we drive the new SsangYong Rexton. And Shumi rides the new TVS Phoenix 125. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. As you can see, we've got a power-packed show lined up for you, but let's start things off by lifting the covers of the latest launch from the M&M stable. Now, Mahindra completed its acquisition of troubled Korean car maker SsangYong in March last year. It fits in beautifully to Mahindra's strategy because SsangYong does have an attractive SUV portfolio. The first launch to hit the Indian car market is the Rexton. Bird got a chance to drive the Rexton at the Mahindra factory before it actually makes its debut on the roads. Here's his verdict.
This is the SsangYong Rexton W and it's been brought to India by Mahindra. Now it's been a long time coming, but the wait has definitely been worth it. Now SsangYong is a fairly large Korean manufacturer. Korea of course is more famous for, well, there was Daewoo, then in modern times there's Hyundai, there's Kia, of course there's that famous Korean cuisine Bulgogi, and well, in very modern times it's also famous for one more thing, Gangnam Style. And of course, someone at Mahindra is going to be dancing to that tune very happily. Now, SsangYong's range of vehicles weren't really known for the outstanding design qualities. In fact, you really wouldn't want to be seen driving a SsangYong in the past. But things have changed dramatically. SsangYong's design language has changed. And if you look at the new Rexton W, well, as you can see, it's a lot sleeker, it's a lot slimmer, it's a lot sportier than ever before. These headlamps, well, they're sleeker and slimmer. They wrap themselves around the hood over there. They've got the projector-style lamps inside. Look very nice. There's the grille out here. It's slimmer than before. These horizontal slats that go from end to end, and well, they've got this aluminium finish. Makes it look very masculine, very sporty, very dynamic as well. Even the front bumper, that has changed as well. Even these sleek, slim fog lamp units, the driving lamp units, very nice looking bits. The side profile, well, the side profile has changed as well considerably, and it looks sporty, it looks masculine. There's a lot of ethos from Mercedes-Benz out here, and if you look at the language, well, it looks very M-classish, and that's not altogether a bad thing, because, well, the M-Class in itself was a very sturdy, very sporty-looking SUV, especially a large, imposing SUV, and that has been carried forward in the Rexton as well. At the back, a few of the changes here are in the tail lamps. They've now got this LED cluster, looks very nice, especially when you switch on the brakes, or you step on the brakes, or at night when you switch on the lights. The rear tailgate, that has changed as well. But here's one curious thing that I really did not find appealing. This is basically the city of Mumbai. This Rexton is basically the city of Mumbai, and the BMC is going to be on the lookout for a lot of people who are going to be putting those badging on this. I don't know where they got the licenses, but there's one badge on the front fender, that's the second badge there, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, the SsangYong here, a seventh on the other corner. That's a whole lot of badging just for one car. There's even a Rexton embossed on the tailgate, and there's just too much of brand material on one vehicle to be carrying around. That is the one aspect of it that doesn't appeal to me, at least. On the whole, however, oh sorry, did I forget? There's another Rexton W badge right here on the D pillar. It's just way too much.
The interiors are also quite pleasant. However, I do question that steering wheel with the very unconventional layout of buttons on it. You don't ever see an array of buttons positioned the way it is here, and I think it's the only odd-looking item. Otherwise, I do think this is a nice cabin. It looks and feels upmarket and premium. It is luxurious and very well equipped with all the features you would want in a modern SUV. The build and fit is also quite impressive, but there are a few creases that still need to be ironed out.
Now, I do admire this cabin for being as spacious as it is. I mean, I really like the way the space is structured and laid out inside this cabin. I also think this rear bench, this last row bench out here, isn't the most practical. You can seat kids in here, they'd be comfortable, but because this is such a low seat, you're literally sitting on the floor of this cabin. It's going to be very uncomfortable for grown adults. Also, another grouse I had in this cabin is that I found a lot of charging points up in the front for the driver and the passenger. But for the middle row and this last row, well, there really aren't too many charging points. There is one charging point in the boot, but it isn't very accessible. And of course, there's a lot of storage space inside this SUV. The Rexton is, well, very comfortable in Indian conditions, and by that I mean driving this SUV over potholed roads or scarred surfaces. Well, the ride quality is fantastic. It just irons out everything. It is the new benchmark for the class. Other cars in this segment will definitely be judged by the ride quality that this one offers. And in that respect, most of you are looking out for ride comfort. If that is top of your priority list, the SsangYong, well, it is going to please you a lot. The Rexton will be available with just one diesel engine, a 2.7 litre common rail diesel injection, which SsangYong has sourced from Mercedes-Benz. Now, interestingly, Mahindra will offer this engine in two states of tune. That is, it will have two different power outputs. There is the 160 horsepower engine that will be mated to the 6-speed manual transmission, and of course the 180 horsepower which will be mated to the 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, this engine and of course the transmissions, they're fairly refined as you would expect on any Mercedes vehicle. Of course, this engine has been used in a previous generation M-Class, the ML270 CDI. It's a fairly old engine, but still very competent for, well, our purposes. The only downside of this engine is it is fairly noisy. You can hear the engine revving hard inside this cabin. This is despite the heavy sound insulation under the hood and of course with these heavily insulated windows. But performance and efficiency, I expect, should be of a very high order indeed. This is a very quick, very hard revving engine. You can feel the acceleration build up rapidly. I expect it to do 100 kilometers per hour in under 10 seconds, somewhere close to about 8.5 or 8.7 seconds. And fuel efficiency should also be around 10 kilometers per litre on an average.
The 5-speed automatic transmission is mated to a full-time 4-wheel drive system. The manual, however, for all those off-road buffs, gets a low ratio shift on the fly box. So you can select a 4-high or 4-low ratio when you go off-road. In standard mode, the Rexton manual runs a 2-wheel drive operation with power delivered to the rear wheels. But it also has torque on demand, so as and when the vehicle systems detect tire slip, they will divert power to the front wheels or whichever wheel requires it.
Pushing the Rexton hard through the corners, you do get a sense that there's an immense amount of understeer, of course compounded by these very heavy body rolls, and it's just a very unsettling feeling. These Hancocks, well, they may offer fantastic ride quality. These 16-inch tires on this SUV, they offer great ride quality, but when it comes to handling, when it comes to grip levels, I'm just going to go through this corner and I can just hear it understeer and just feel the understeer in the rubber. It just won't corner, and these, mind you, are banked corners, so technically this SUV should just roll through that, but it doesn't. Another aspect of the Rexton that I quite like is that this is a fairly large and spacious cabin, and there is a lot of glass area, so you have this very bright interior, and of course visibility. It's got fantastic visibility all round. The large windscreen at the rear, well, you can clearly see everything through it. The big outside rear view mirrors give you fantastic visibility on your flanks, and overall that makes this a very secure and safe cabin to drive. Even the A-pillar, well, it may be a thick and large A-pillar, but it just doesn't obstruct your vision. The SsangYong Rexton W should appeal to those of you looking for a lot more luxury, style, panache, flair and comfort than the XUV 500 at, well, a fairly affordable price. But the one bit about this SUV that does not appeal to me are, well, its handling characteristics. It just doesn't appeal to the enthusiast driver in me. But if you can forego that and, well, keep comfort, luxury and its features top of your shopping list, then the Rexton W is definitely the SUV for you.
Well, that was the Rexton, and it's been a good week for Mahindra with their racing team winning the 125cc Italian Constructors Series. On that note, it's time for a break. When we return, we'll answer your queries on Auto Selector and we'll wrap up all the news from the world of auto.